Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. I have wanted to dive into this topic for a little while, and basically it's gonna be about the 4 elements within astrology. So within astrology, there are the 4 elements which separate the 12 zodiac signs. These elements are earth, water, fire, and air. Each solar season of the year actually contains one of each of these elements. And it all begins with fire, which then kickstarts the year with the spring equinox. So that would be within Aries. The Aries season, of course, that starts on the 20th of March, and then afterwards it goes into a new season, which is the summer solstice, and that all begins with Cancer, and that is then on the 20th of June. Then, of course, whenever summer is all over and it goes into the autumn solstice, it goes into Libra, which is the 22nd of September. And then lastly, it goes through to the winter solstice, which is within Capricorn, and that begins on the 21st of December. Even from the information that I just went through, you've probably gathered that the zodiac signs actually act as different seasons. Well, that's simply because, well, they are seasons. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going through these 4 elements and explaining to you all the different characteristics and traits within each element. Before I go into the 4 separate elements, I would like to highlight that I discovered something pretty interesting about the elements in relation to the brain. So within our brains, the left side of the brain is the more logical side, and then the right side is the more sort of emotional side. So within astrology and in relation to the elements, it is the air signs and the earth signs that sort of trigger that more left side, logical side of the brain. And then it's the fire signs and the water signs that trigger the more emotional side of the brain. Alright, so let's start with the spring equinox. And it all begins with the fire signs within Aries. So, the element of fire. There are 3 fire signs within astrology. These signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Interesting enough to know as well, there are what you call the sort of spiritual stages within astrology too. So Aries would be the more survival stage. It's sort of more thinking inward about protecting oneself. And then Leo is the more social stage. So the social stage is about sort of learning how to come out and interact with the world and be social. So it's sort of all within that word. And lastly, there is Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is known as the spiritual stage within the fire element, and the spiritual stage is that sort of connection of being able to look within and look outward and just kind of bring it all together and just come together in a unity. Aries rules the 1st house of the zodiac, and then Leo, that rules the 5th house of the zodiac, and then Sagittarius rules the 9th house of the zodiac. Major keywords here within the fire element. So fire elements would be the likes of impulsive, spontaneous, visionaries. They can be very creative people, very passionate people, highly enthusiastic people. They just have a lot of energy. If you can think of fire and how quickly fire can just spread. So if you just light a little match and it's there, the little fire's there for a second, and then it's just boom, it can just spread so much. So if you think of fire and you think of how that can relate to people, they can just go from here to here in a heartbeat. Fire signs ultimately just have this sort of larger than life personality to them. They have so much action and so much drive, and they just want to go ahead. It's all about moving forward for the fire signs. I feel that within fire, they don't really like to dwell on the past or think of that, any of that. They're just all about like, okay, let's just move forward. Okay, I'm just going to spread. I want to spread this fire. Just want to keep it going. I don't want it to go out, because if it goes out, then I die. Obviously they're not gonna die, but they want to keep their fire going, which is actually why air and fire get on really well too, because if you think of the air element, it can help fuel the fire and keep it going and keep it burning. I also feel that fire signs are pretty intuitive people. I think this is because of their impulse. A lot of the times fire signs will just not think before they speak, or they'll just do something just knowing from their gut feeling. If they feel that they want to do something, they'll go and they'll do it. They'll not even think twice about it. But the thing is it can actually get them into trouble sometimes. So that's something they've got to be careful about, especially Aries, because Aries is sort of like the young. It's like the child of the zodiac. It's the child of the fire signs as well. So you will find a lot of Aries people can be quite childish. Ultimately as well, thinking about it within fire, a fire can keep you nice and warm and cozy. At the same time, fire can also burn you to death. So fire, it's all about the balance, guys. Balance within everything in the world. And within fire, it's about knowing that strength. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to quickly just go through the 3 fire signs and explain basic details within each sign, so you can have a bit of an insight into each sign separately. So Aries, that is the first sign of the zodiac, the first fire sign. Aries can be quite loud and very outspoken people. As I said before, they can be quite childlike as well, but at the same time, this childlike behavior gives them this sense of innocence to them. So you'll see that Aries people will do things, but they'll not mean, like they'll say something quite mean or rude, but they'll not realize that they did it. But you see that innocence in them. They genuinely don't want to harm or hurt anyone, but they do have the tendency to not think before they speak. But at the same time, they can be very great leaders. They are number one, and they look at themselves as, I can do this. Anything they set their mind out to do, they will go and achieve it because they have that drive and they have that energy. Aries is also a cardinal sign as well. So cardinal signs, they are the initiators. They are the ones, as I say, they go out and achieve. So that is definitely a good thing about the cardinal energy. Cardinal energy as well, they just have this huge zest for life. They just look at life as a playground. They look at it as so fun. There's so much to life, and they want to get in it and explore as much as possible. The problem though that comes with the cardinal energy though is that whilst they're so busy going forward and doing all that, they can forget about the rest of the pack. So whereas they can be great leaders, they need to remember the people that are, well, that they're leading. They need to remember those people. Leo then, so Leo, that is the 5th of the zodiac, and Leo is a very flamboyant energy. They love attention. They just crave attention. They love to be seen. They love to be heard. And of course, again, they are the sociable element there within the spiritual stages. So I believe that that's why as well, that they just love all eyes being on them. Highly creative as well. Very creative people, Leos. You'll find that at parties and things that the Leos will just be those ones who like to entertain. Leos also love to indulge in what they really love. They can be very, very passionate. And when they find a passion, they will indulge in that passion. Leos definitely have that sense of luxury to them. It doesn't matter what it is. It does not matter what sort of thing it is that they love. It could be something as small as coffee. They will go out and do luxury with it. They will go to many coffee shops in one day and really indulge in that. It's just that energy. It's just that they love to pamper themselves with whatever it is that they enjoy. Leo is also a fixed sign. So fixed signs, they are very determined people, highly, highly loyal people. When they make their mind up on something, they've made their mind up. But at the same time though, they're very patient and steady into whatever it is they want or what decision they make. They're very careful. They're just very steady and patient and stable as they go towards reaching their goals. Sagittarius then. Sagittarians are very straightforward people. If you think of the symbol of the Sagittarius, it's just a bow and arrow, or the archer rather, but A bow and arrow would just straight into it, straight into the heart, straight into a person. Their words are just like those arrows. They're just so blunt. I think that's why they can be so blunt. But at the same time, you know, blunt is maybe not the best. Okay, they are blunt, but that straightforwardness I think is a better term, because blunt to me just sounds like such a bad word, but really they're just trying to be genuine and they're trying to be honest and open. So you'll find with Sagittarius energy, they're so honest, but at the same time they don't necessarily care of what you think. They will just say it like it is and not hold back. They are also highly independent. I would say they're probably the most independent of the entire zodiac. Aquarius get known for being like that, but I truly believe that's actually the Sagittarius that are, because I feel like a lot of Sagittarius, they could be on their own for weeks and weeks and weeks, and they don't, like, they literally don't care. Sagittarius is also a mutable sign. So mutable signs, they're adaptable, they're open to change and things like that. So you'll find that mutable signs, they just know how to sort of go with the flow and there's no fuss or a huff about it. However, the disadvantage of being mutable is that they can be very flippy floppy, wishy-washy. 1 minute they say something and the next minute it's a different thing. You're just kind of like, well, hello, you told me something different last week. So overall, guys, I would say that those born under the fire element, they just are very dynamic people. They look at life as an adventure and they have so much enthusiasm and they just want to give their energy to life or to whatever it is. However, that being said, fire elements, they do need to be careful that in the process of them sort of indulging in life, that they don't become overly self-centered, because they're just focusing so much on me, that they forget, as I said before, you know, forgetting about the pack. That's something that the fire signs, they need to be careful of. They must learn ultimately that they got to be considerate and thoughtful towards other people's feelings. Remember, be considerate. Don't try to be too bossy. Don't try to come off as too egotistic or vain or anything like that. They just got to be a little bit more dang with the mind a little bit here. All that being said though, fire signs are just very inspirational people because they have these solid ideas, and people, I feel, admire that about the fire signs. They see them as very strong-willed people, and what's not to love about that, right? Alright guys, so that concludes my video. I'm a fire sign element in astrology. If you did like this video, then please be sure to give it a like and let me know in the comment section down below, letting me know your thoughts and opinions. And if this is the first time you're finding my channel, then please be sure to subscribe, and I will be back, guys, with another video very, very soon. Bye!